What's happening, troops? VB here. Hope you're all doing really well and welcome back to the channel. It's been too long. So very recently I bought myself an ASUS ROG Ally, and having this thing has kind of revitalized a love for a lot of old games that I used to play, especially ARPGs. So over the past couple of years I've played all the major ARPG titles: Diablo, Diablo 2, Resurrected, Diablo 3, D2R, Grim Dawn, Path of Exile. I'm still at playlist Epoch, and there's a few others that I haven't tried, but D2R is definitely one of the best. I played it so much that I couldn't even stand the sight of it. That was, like I said, until I got my Ally, and now my love for D2R has just exploded again. Like I was saying earlier on in these past 2 years, I tried all the major ARPGs, one of them being Path of Exile, which was absolutely phenomenal. The mechanics, endgame, everything was fantastic. Last season, the Settlers League, I played the Hierophant Ice Nova. I'll put it on screen now. It was brutal, one of the best builds I've ever played in any of these games. However, after playing that build, it kind of spoiled all the other games for me because it was such a simple one button kill everything build, and it looked so cool as well. And I was thinking, man, how can I get something similar to this in other games? So I was looking at all the ARPGs, and Torchlight is actually one I forgot to mention. Torchlight is another really big one that's, people say it's in the middle ground. It's between the complexity of D2R and Path of Exile, so it sits in the middle of the two. Path of Exile is super complex, Diablo 4 is pretty simple, Torchlight sits in the middle. So I was going to give Torchlight a shot, but I didn't really like the animation style, the art style all that much. So it brought me back to the one and only D2R, Diablo 2 Resurrected. Now I use the mod manager for this. There are a couple of total overhaul mods for D2R which are fantastic, reimagined and remodded specifically if you're looking for a new way to experience D2R is fantastic. Also, there's a really great mod for the original Diablo 2 called Project Diablo 2, which is probably the best way to play it. The only reason I haven't played it is because it doesn't have controller support. I'm a noob, I like controllers. Yeah, remodded in Project Diablo 2 add in maps, which is something that they have in Path of Exile. Diablo 2, when you get to endgame, there's not much to do. You can do the same bosses over and over again. It gets kind of boring, which is why these other mods have added maps, good endgame content, lots of new dungeons you can do, something to keep going, something to keep farming. It gives you incentive to keep playing. Now that's what this game is missing. I unfortunately don't have mods to fix that. You need to download the bigger mods, but that brings me to today's topic: turning D2R into Path of Exile. So I do have the mods loaded here just to show you. For this whole setup to work, you're gonna need the Diablo 2 Resurrected mod manager. Now, to turn Diablo 2 Resurrected into Path of Exile, it's going to take more than these 4 mods I have here, and you're not turning it into Path of Exile really, but it's the closest you can get. So there's one really cool mod called Sonya's Item Forge. This is it here. This basically lets you buy any skill in the game. It also lets you buy upgrades, maximum resistances, run speed, all skills, missile damage, everything, you name it. Then we've also got all the skills and all the auras you can buy. Like in Path of Exile, you can buy skill gems. So now, as you can see, the prices of these are super high, which is good because it means you can't just go in and buy all the skills right away and become super OP. Now, gold is really easy to come by in D2R, as you probably know. So there's other mods that can reduce the amount of gold you get and make it even harder to buy these to make it more of a challenge. Now you can see, if you've got unlimited gold, you could just make a broken character right away, which is why there's other mods that make it harder for you, like to implement your own restrictions. Because what fun is it if you're, okay, well, it is fun if you're a god. It's fun for like an hour, but after an hour it gets kind of boring. So I do like to implement other mods to still make it a challenge. The third mod technically we're going to need is D2R Corruptions. This is like I think it's Valorbs in Path of Exile. You put it on an item, you slam it, and then it either adds a new affix to the item or it totally corrupts it and breaks it. So that's a really good feature from Path of Exile been implemented here. Great for crafting, which is what I've been doing. Another one is the Disenchanter. This adds new recipes. This is all just really for crafting because crafting is super big in PoE. This lets you disenchant items so you can put your own sockets in it and stuff like that. So yeah, Disenchanter. The next one is going to be Heraldric Upgrading. This lets us upgrade things in the cube with our own recipes, which is pretty cool as well. I'll put all the links to these in the description, but there is one more mod. It's called Burning Anvil. I don't know why it's not coming up. Let's just look at all the quests. Bear with me a sec. All the quests. Let's just look at all the mods. Bear with me a second. And here's the last mod here. Socket any item for D2R mod manager. This mod adds a new item called Burning Anvil. Now these are super hard to drop, but when they do drop, you can add it to an item, cube it, and give it a socket. So these are some of the mods I would use to try and turn the game into Path of Exile. I've been having a fantastic time so far playing it. I've got my paladin here. You check out my skill bar down the bottom, you'll see raised skeleton, which is super cool. I've got a paladin cold god necromancer, which is unheard of. And now, just before we go, I'll give you one last little mod. It doesn't turn it into Path of Exile, but it's still super cool. And that's the custom rune word mod. Let's just look it up for you now. Here we are, custom rune word for D2R mod manager. So I have created my own custom rune word here, just to get as close to my Path of Exile build as possible. I know it's not the same as the Hierophant Ice Nova or whatever, but I've created a shield rune word called Zero Chill, and this has a 64% chance to cast level 21 frozen orb on attacking. So let's go out and test this. I know it's not the exact same as my Path of Exile build, but it's pretty close. I've got my orbs that come out on attack, and then they shoot and do other things as well, so shoot out more frozen orbs. Great to look at, fun to play. So yeah, total freedom with your builds, just like Path of Exile. There's my skeletons. But yeah, you can just totally experiment. I would say go wild with it. Obviously you'll need to save some gold. But yeah, you buy all your gems here and look Ghislaine.
Welcome back, stranger.
You know, our telekinesis, cold mastery, terror, evade, Valkyrie. Each merchant has different skill gems for each class. So we go up to the guy that does the gambling. He's got paladin and I think it's Amazon skills. Worth checking out. One thing I would say is, if you're going to be trying out the bigger overhaul mods, especially remodded, it's by Bonesy. There's a big team over there. If you like Diablo 2 Resurrected, please download and try out remodded. It's fantastic. Unfortunately at this point, remodded, you can't add your own mods to it, but if I could add one mod to remodded, it would be this one, to buy all my own skill gems to make it as much like Path of Exile as possible. Now, unfortunately I can't show you too much because this is my first new character. I've only recently just get back into D2R, so I haven't built lots of characters, but next I'm going to do a barbarian, a fire barbarian that shoots meteors. I was thinking about a necromancer sorcerer that throws spears. You know, it's crazy. You can really just totally experiment with this. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you either try out Diablo 2 Mod Manager or Diablo 2 Remodded. They are fantastic utilities that add so much life into this game, because Blizzard aren't adding any more life into it now, are they? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. Take care, and I'll hopefully catch you on one of the streams soon. Bye.
Let's do it.